Tatsuki Fujimoto is a mangaka mostly known for his works such as Chainsaw Man and Fire Punch. However, ever since he finished the first part of Chainsaw Man, he's made two one-shots. One is called Look Back and one is called Goodbye Eri. In my opinion, these one-shots are probably the most shocking and one of the best one-shots I've ever read in my life. So first, let's go through Look Back. Look Back centers on two middle school students and their journey to become mangaka and the tragedy that befalls them. And yes, both of these synopses are pretty short simply because I don't want to spoil too much and it is a one-shot. What I noticed with Look Back is that Look Back is a sort of venting for Tatsuki Fujimoto. Knowing that this was released on the second year anniversary of the Kyoto Animation arson attack, that little piece of information was extremely heartbreaking to get. Because not only does this series portray the hardships when it comes to trying to become a mangaka, but it also portrays the losses that could happen within the industry. Because our two main characters of this series are Fujino and Kiyomoto. During primary school, there was a manga section in the school's newspaper that they had students draw on there, and from Fujino's perspective, she was basically competing against Kiyomoto. And throughout this basically primary school arc, you basically see Fujino turn into a full-on NEET, basically spending 90% of her life trying to become a better mangaka than Kiyomoto, even though Kiyomoto has no idea that this is happening because she doesn't go to the school physically. But throughout this section, you basically see a lot of judgment from her classmates, her family, basically everybody around her life that thinks she's becoming a total loser. And again, this is still in primary school. What I personally love about Look Back is that Fujimoto was able to combine a biography with slice of life, which was honestly the most interesting thing ever. Now, as I mentioned earlier, at one point, Fujino decides to take her manga panels more seriously, and she was getting a lot of criticism, but more specifically by her parents. And in the Mappa stage where we got the Chainsaw Man trailer, he got asked, how old were you when you wanted to become a mangaka and why? And this is what he answered.
したいっていうか、なんか普通の仕事はできないだろうなって思ったから、中学生のぐらいの時に深夜にトイレで階に降りてったら両親が家族会議をこっそりしてて、そこでたつきはニートになるから俺たちで面倒見なきゃって話、家族会議をしてて、なんででしょうね。やっぱりなんかでも漫画読んでたからかな。映画撮るってなったら一人じゃできないし、多分漫画一人で作れるからでかいですよね、小説とかも。
And even though Fujimoto didn't even have the intention of doing this, the realism he added with that answer was honestly incredible. Now later on through the story, when Kyomoto and Fujino are basically adults, Kyomoto gets killed by the axe murderer in the same college that Fujimoto went to in real life. And then after Fujino heard about this incident, she basically goes through these what-if situations. What if I didn't push Kyomoto to get out of the house? What if I didn't partner with Kyomoto to be a mangaka? And this brings me to the first two pages of the one-shot, because it very clearly states what you shouldn't do. Don't look back. And the reasoning and why I personally enjoy this one-shot more than Chainsaw Man or Fire Punch, it's the insane amount of context that Fujimoto adds to the story, whether it be the release date or the insane amount of context that goes into the story with the Q&A. And there's probably even a lot more that I probably missed. But coming from a mangaka that's quite mysterious like Tatsuki Fujimoto, this was definitely a breath of fresh air. Goodbye Eri. Yuta Ito is a high schooler who just got his hands on a new smartphone for his birthday. While he's pleased to play around with it, his mother makes an odd request to record her final days before she passes away. Now this manga honestly doesn't feel like a manga. It feels more like a movie. And I don't mean the couple panels that have a little bit of motion blur that Fujimoto uses, I mean all 200 pages of this. Because as you can see from the pages, they're just set up as scenes. And most of the paneling throughout the series doesn't do too much. Because you're watching a movie, you're not reading a manga. I think Fujimoto was trying to perfectly encapsulate what a movie experience is when you go to a theater in a manga. And I think he captured it absolutely beautifully. Now a very easy theme to notice throughout this story is legacy. Now legacy is shown throughout this whole series, but it's mostly shown through the main character's mother. His mother in the movie that Yuta made was portrayed as beautiful, kind, loving, and basically an absolute sweetheart. But later on in the story, we actually learned that the mom was mean, abusive towards the son, abusive to her family basically. And she's the one that basically dictated every single piece of how this movie was gonna come out because she wanted to use it as a documentary originally when she survived the illness that she very clearly didn't. Now throughout the series, there's two movies and the next one is created with Eri, hence the title Goodbye Eri. Throughout the first pages of knowing Eri, we mostly spend the time watching movies with Eri and Yuta. And again, as you can see from these pages, it's framed exactly like a movie. And since everybody made fun of Yuta's last movie with his mom, he wanted to make this one better. So Eri and him spend many hours just watching movies and learning good plots, while Yuta's trying to come up with a plot that Eri accepts. However, Eri wasn't looking for a good plot. She was just looking for what Yuta liked to do. Reality with a pinch of fantasy. Does that sound familiar to someone that we know? At the end of the recording, or basically the movie, we see Eri die due to a disease that was similar to his mom. And then after the movie, fast forward and Yuta's a grown adult now. He goes to the same abandoned building where Eri and Yuta used to watch movies consistently, and she's right there sitting as if nothing happened throughout the last years. Why do you think she survived? Because she's a vampire. He goes into this rant of basically what she wanted from a movie, and the final panel is Yuta walking away from an exploding building, which happened in the mom's movie as well. So at this point, you're basically confused. What is reality? What is fake? And I'm not even gonna lie, it took me like 3 or 4 reads to actually understand understand this manga at least a little bit more. But what I love about Fujimoto's works and how he has always been amazing with his writing is that this one specifically plays a lot with your perspective. It makes you question what was real and what wasn't in the first place. And honestly, to this point, I still have a lot of questions when it comes to the ending. But even within the confusion, it was extremely enjoyable to read. These two one-shots honestly make me more excited for Chainsaw Man, because there's literally no news when it comes to the second part of the manga or what angle Fujimoto's gonna take. But what I can easily say with confidence is that Fujimoto's writing has improved drastically ever since he started these two one-shots. And these two one-shots are probably the most introspective Fujimoto that we're ever gonna get. But these two works were honestly beautiful to read. Amazing art. His art has definitely improved as well. And for me, someone that has to focus really hard when reading a manga, after getting the background, these are the first ones that actually made me tear up a little bit. Because goddamn, that background hurts to read about. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like, subscribe. Let me know which one you guys like more. Do you like Look Back more? Do you like Goodbye Eri? No, let me know. And yeah, deuces.